Okay, Tony. Well, it's time to get started on your turtle. So let's go ahead and begin the process. Alright, so this is a end of the SUA manufacturing versions of this watch. It's early 80s was near the transition point. So this is still made in factory in Japan before things were moved, I think, to Malaysia, I'm pretty sure, for most, if not all. Okay. But, or Hong Kong, I guess. All right, so pretty clean. Looks pretty good. Got a little something here. Not quite sure what that is. A little material. All right. Go ahead and get your die shock out. Alrighty, let's take your hairspring balance out. That looks pretty good. Coils are nice. Okay. Okay, let's get your ball bearing assembly removed. That looks pretty good too. Nice clean movement. A little bit of material here that seems a little foreign, but overall really quite good. I think this should be straightforward. Hopefully no surprises. I don't think we'll have too many issues. There are some known things, but we'll get to those. Let's take out your palette fork. Looks good. Take a close look at your jewel faces on this. All right. That's about as far as I want to go here. I'll go ahead and decase the watch. And there is your dial. Nice. Very nice, in fact. Okay. Get everybody lined up and get your hands off. Okay. Right. Minute hand comes off. And your hour hand is next. Okay, now that we have your hands off, we can go ahead and take a look at your dial, which looks really great. The red text is still quite clear. See quite a bit of lubrication that's gotten off the movement here. All right, let's see. Some of these later versions don't have a date. I will actually be slightly surprised if this one does, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if I see one. And there are the makings of a date. Fortunately, I just can't make it out. I see a 0 maybe? Might be for 80. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I think it's very original. It looks great, even without a date. All right. Now that that's tucked away, we can get going on the rest here. So clearly there's something up with your quick day. And date. And your standard turnover here. We'll get to that in just a moment. Let's get to the movement side, the train side. Just get these few components removed. Right. There's your ratchet wheel. Oh, how interesting. How interesting. This has a jewel. Interesting. Somebody has jeweled this plate. So that was a bushing, and now is a jewel. Huh. So that's interesting. We'll have to delve in a little closer to see what I think of that jewel. There's your fourth wheel. And your third wheel. And your escape wheel. And here is this. It's just a little bit unnerving. I think you might be in store for a barrel. Huh, that's really interesting. So somebody went to the effort to put a jewel here, but not here. So this is where the wear is, not up here. But that bushing can get badly worn over time, and you can see here where your barrel has dug into your bridge a bit and brassed it. So we're gonna go ahead and just do 2 new jewels. We'll machine this out, put a jewel in because it definitely needs it, as they all do, and then we'll take care of your upper jewel as well. That's got a lot of oil. Woo! Swimming in oil. That is way too much. Holy moly. Okay. Well, we'll remedy that as well. All right, let's take a look over on this side. Let's take a close look. Again, watchmakers. Oh my gosh. This is the second one in a row that has put their C-clip on upside down. Oh man, what a pain. Come on. Boy, that's annoying. It's such an easy thing to get right. The instructions are written on the ring. Okay, give me a sec. Okay. Disaster averted. Ring released. That C-clip is a conundrum for some. I'm not sure why. Woo! Man, there's just oil everywhere. Alright, we're gonna have to clean up your ring there. Or your disc, I should say. Okay, let's see what we got here. What is the obvious thing that could be wrong? Right, that's interesting. Oh boy, that's curious. So it looks like this is stuck in position, not advancing. So we've got some interference here, but unfortunately, this right here next to your 10, I don't know if you can see that as well as I can, but I will try and make it so you can. There are teeth, and if that tooth by the 10 is worn. Okay, I can do this properly. Hold on 1 second here. Let's try that again. See that tooth? That tooth is worn down to a nub because in the effort to advance the date, that gear that's just to the left of that worn tooth has worn it down. The reason is because of the position of, and I'll show you just with regular viewing here. This gear has somehow gotten dislodged and this is stuck. This is your advancing finger, which is attached to this. So it might be that this is sticky and this came up and then everything got locked up. I'm surprised it still ran, to be honest. So that's not good. Okay, well, you may be in store for a new a new date ring. Let's get everything off. So I don't think that 10 is gonna react well once we get everything removed here. I wanna be as sort of careful as possible so I can see the state of it as I remove these pieces. Let's see what kind of condition everything is in its unperturbed state. Let's see if I can do that. So there may be some replacement parts. Oh, there definitely will be some replacement parts, but I'm not sure to what depth they will be replaced. Okay, so that is super sticky. And it seems to me that it has gotten somehow popped up. All right, let's take this off. This may be coming back in a bag. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty badly both bent and worn. Maybe I can put it back into place, into plane. Looks like there are two positions that got badly bent. Well, it may be something I can correct, but I'm going to have to keep my eye on it, and we'll have to test it pretty thoroughly. The question is, oh yeah, okay, so now I see the issue. The issue is this right here. This is the issue. You've got a bad date advance gear. This little guy right here, which is very oily. Goodness. Okay, so again, we're going to try and magnify things so you can see what I see under higher magnification, which is the way I look at things. But yeah, see the teeth on there? Those are completely wasted. So you definitely need this part. Pretty sure I have one. Okay, so that's that. That will have to be replaced for sure. Okay, I'll put that to the side here. Now the question is, when there's one, there are usually others that are associated with it that are also badly worn. So I'm pretty sure, well, this gear looks okay. I'll have to look at it more closely. Yeah, I think this one is also gone. So you're in for a couple gears and a couple pieces. All right, hopefully everything else is all right. The question is why? Why did it get out of whack? What was the reason? That's the thing we have to work out. Maybe they were just badly marred in a service history of some sort, but we'll get to the bottom of it. Certainly your parts need to be cleaned. They are covered in grease. So it's swimming in WD-40 or something. It's pretty gross. All right, but we'll take care of that. Sometimes too much grease, too much oil is way worse than too little. Because once it gets slung all around the movement, it's everywhere, and that's not what you want. You don't want it everywhere. You want it where you put it. All right, there's your hour and your minute. Those wheels are important for setting. There's your cannon pinion and your center wheel. Okay. Whew. Greasy. Greasy bits. Go ahead and take your die shock and spring out. The key to good servicing is making sure the things you put in stay put. Oils, lubricants, other things. That's the big challenge. more grease. It's okay to have these a little bit greasy because they put up with a lot of pressure. So you need good grease to ensure that they're not getting worn, but sometimes it's just a little over the top. All right, and there we go. And there it is. That's your movement torn down. All right, we're gonna get to cleaning and jeweling and going over things. Your stem looks really good. Your crown seems to be okay. So we're gonna put a new jewel in your movement. We're gonna go ahead and jewel that. And right here, we're gonna put a nice new jewel. We're gonna check out all your bushings and all your components and make sure that everything's nice and clean and proper. Get all these hairs and things off of here. Ooh-wee. All right, well, that's all right. We'll get it right. Okay, Tony, we'll be back. Okay, Tony. Well, we are ready to begin the reassembly process. Here's your new lower mainspring arbor port jewel. So that's newly installed, ready to go. So let's get everything back into shape. So now we can put in your barrel. So you have a new barrel. This is a replacement. Yours was badly bent, and I just don't like to take risks with such an important component. It just isn't worth it. I don't know what happened, but somebody in the past had crimped it, and I wasn't happy with that situation. So we're going to go with a new one as a way to ensure proper performance. This is your escape wheel. And your third wheel. Give everybody a really close look before they go into their positions. It's always good to be sure that everything is as it should be. You don't want to have to disassemble. Fourth wheel. Okay. So here's your train bridge with your new upper mainspring arbor port jewel. Very good. third screw. Okay. All right. So now we're going to flip your, well, let's go ahead and put your ratchet wheel in place now that we're here anyway. Good. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and add some lubrication here. Okay. And then to the other side, where we can add your cannon pinion. And touch of lubrication to your 2 jewels. All right. And now we install the die shock that is part of the balance jeweling components. Oops. I'm back. Okay, very good. All right, so that's what we need to do on the calendar side. So now we can flip back to the train side and it looks quite good. All right, so now we can install your pallet fork. Good. All right. Excellent. Okay, so next up is your balance. So we will get that installed. All right. So here's your balance and hairspring. Very good. Okay, there we go. Now we're running. Very good. All right, well let's check our work. Look at the time grapher here and see if we can get you adjusted and ready to go. We'll be right back. Okay, Tony. Well, we're looking pretty good. We're just getting things adjusted here, getting started. So we gotta get your rate down just a bit. More. It's looking pretty good. Nice clean signal. All right. Well, I think what we're going to let happen is we're going to let all the lubrication find its way around the movement, and we're going to let this settle in and come back and have a look. All right, it's a good start. Let's let it break in. We'll be back. Okay, Tony, well, I think we're basically broken in here. I think this is exactly where we want to be. Rate is nice and steady, near 0 seconds error per day, no beat error, numbers in the high 230s, 240s. This is where you want to see one of these. This is perfect, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I think we're ready to move on and start getting the calendar side back together. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't get started. All right, we're going to do it. Okay, Tony, so we've started with the reconstruction of your calendar side and your keyless works. Go ahead and get these parts and pieces put together here. Okay, Now, we're gonna have to be extra careful with your day and date changeover here, because I haven't replaced your day ring yet. I want to test it to see if it's going to actually do what we need it to do, and I want to make sure that that's the right decision. My philosophy is to try and keep everything as original as possible. Repair before we're trying to replace. Now, these three components here, which you'll see the third one in a moment, these plastic pieces, I've replaced all of them just as a precaution because I can't repair them, and they were pretty badly damaged prior to me receiving the watch. And I'll show you at the end, of course, what all of those parts are. I'll get some slight magnetization here in this screw to ensure it's not a screwdriver. Okay. Right, so these should rotate freely. And then your intermediary gear, which is this, I just, want to be 100% sure that because it was so bad to begin with, yes, nice and smooth, that's exactly what you want to see. Excellent. Okay. So now we can put your date ring back in place and really check all of the function as we go through. Be very, very cautious here just to be sure. It was damaged, but I don't think irreparably. But proof will be in the test. Okay. Second plate. It's nice to see your lower mainspring arbor port jewel shining right here in this access hole. Okay, so now is the real proof. Can we, oops, let me put this in the right location here. Does not want to advance. Very stiff. I see. Okay. So, seeing that makes me believe that this may not be quite the repair that I thought it was. I'm not sure we're going to be able to salvage much. Let's just see. So this is pretty badly damaged. Perhaps to the point where fairly far out of alignment. It's a remarkably close fit. I'd like to be able to keep your original ring, of course. That would be ideal. Does not seem to want to cooperate. I have a feeling we're going to be, despite my best efforts, looking at a new ring. But I don't want to be pessimistic. I want to be sure before I jump to any conclusions. It's particularly stiff. All right. I think given what I'm seeing here, yeah, this is going to continue to fight. Which is unfortunate. The problem isn't the quick date, it is the conventional date change, which scares me a bit. So, okay, so this one is just too badly worn. It will never ever work correctly, which is kind of sad. But the happy part is I have an exact replacement for it right there. So you will get this one back with the watch. That's unfortunate, but we are still in good shape. We've got a very nice functioning replacement. Which is nice. Nice to have the option if needed. There we go. Okay. Now let's put your C-clip on in the right direction for the next watchmaker. And there we go. Perfectly clean clicks here. Very good. Cool. Great. Okay, so next up is dial in hands, and then we can proceed with reassembly of your watch. We're almost there. Okay, Tony, it's time to put your case back together. So what we have to do is we have to build out the mid case first, which means this needs to go first on your watch. Even though there's nothing else here, we start in this way so that we align everything properly, because your chapter ring needs to be placed on the dial prior to putting in your crystal. And so that's how we make sure that everything is aligned right to begin with. So let's get this flipped back over here. Yep, that's right. Okay. Make sure everybody's straight and flat and ready to go. Yep. There we go. Okay. So now what I can do is lock your movement into your case using your movement ring and your crown, and which has been rebuilt, by the way. So this is now ready to go. Nice new seal. Everything went together beautifully. So there we go. Okay. Now we're going to put your case back on. And we flip this over, showing your exposed dial here. It's always a bit delicate. Okay, so now your dial has a notch sticking out, and your chapter ring has a corresponding keyway. So we drop that in, everybody's aligned. Right, now there are a few pieces here for your seal. So there's the ring. Here's your seal for your gasket for your crown. Crystal. Okay. So, crystal gasket, L-shaped gasket. Okay, now, your old crystal had some scratches, and as we discussed, you wanted it to be changed if it wasn't quite up to scratch. Not to use a bad pun, but it's definitely not up to the proper scratch, because it has a scratch. Has a few, in fact. Okay, so now we push down straight. Make sure our gasket is properly aligned. All right. Now you have two bezels. Here's your inner bezel. This one holds your gasket down, or your crown and gasket. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Language. Your crystal end gasket. All right, let me go click this in place, and we're back. Okay, so that's that part. Now, here's your outer bezel. It has a gasket inside, so that then clicks back on just by hand. This should just snap onto place. Let's hope. Come on. Make sure your gasket's in there properly all the way around. That looks good. All right. So that should snap on. Come on, snap. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Clicks perfectly, and there we go. All right, last couple things are to install your winding components, which have been pre-assembled and lubricated. So here we go. So this is your winding. There we go. All right, let's get that held down. Make sure it's doing its job. Good. Okay, that's one. That's number two. And of course, as with many Seiko bridges, there are three. Number three. Okay. Let's take a moment here to make sure everything is clean and ready. Last part, of course, is your winding weight, which goes right there. And its screw, of course. And with that, we can put your newly greased and ready to go case back gasket in place. All right. All right, that is ready to go. Okay, wonderful. Get you tightened down a little bit. All right. We have a fully restored, serviced, repaired, and very, very, very nice 6309 7040 turtle. There it is. There's the watch. All right, well, Tony, this has been one with its challenges. You know, it's a watch that needed a few things. Certainly the movement itself, the actual mechanical part that is the operation of the timekeeping, that was quite good. That was very good to begin with, and I think ended up, very good at the end. It had a few needs. There are quite a few parts, and I'm going to go through them now so you can see everything that was replaced and everything that's going to come back to you. Everything that I put into a watch, of course, I return back to the customer so that they can see what they've gotten. But I want to make sure that you know precisely all the parts and pieces here that were replaced. Where is your? There it is. Okay, one more piece. There we go. Okay, so quite a menagerie here. All right, so this is your barrel. The case of your barrel, of course, had this nasty divot, and it doesn't make sense to just replace one because it is a part that comes apart, and there are two pieces, and they're a match set basically. So you'll get those two back. Those will come back to you. These are the date changeover components, and you know, to be honest, these plastic parts, if things get bound up and bad, it doesn't make any sense not to replace them all, because one tiny little tooth on one of these can stop the whole works, which we just saw. So you will get all 3 of these back. You have 3 new ones. These are your gaskets. This is your bezel gasket, which is hard and awful. That'll come back. This is the sad one. This is your date disc or your date ring that unfortunately, because it was in a position where somebody was grinding on it in a couple different spots because it wasn't going around, it just got toasted. And once it's out of flat, once you lose some material, it's never going to work right. So you're going to get to like the 8th or the 10th of the month, and it's just going to go and be stuck. And you don't want that. You want it to be smooth and clean. This is your upper bushing for your mainspring arbor port. This is the gasket that was in your crown, which is way out of whack and flat and just, of course, needed to be replaced. I mean, these things go bad with time, and that's why we replace them. But you have a really great watch that's running fantastically well, looks beautiful. Everything just came out in a stunning way. Oh, and your crystal, of course. Here's your crystal. I'm going to return that too. So you got a new crystal, new parts, new pieces. Everything just really comes out really nice when you make sure that everything works. Watch your date. There you go. And now the day just came out great. Hand alignment is spot on. We'll go through your quick change. Everything is buttery smooth, clean, just as it should be. None of these false positions. Just comes through great. All right. Well, Tony, it's been a real pleasure. Let's bring out the older brother. Sorry for all the snoring in the background. The dogs are tired. But I also have your 6309. I'm going to go through those pieces. I'm sorry. This is your 6309. Your 6105. I'll show you what we did for you here. All right. So all right. So I rebuilt your crown. I replaced both gaskets, your case back and your bezel. That's basically a gasket kit for these. And these have a really smooth click ball, and you can hear it hopefully. That's really nice. It's no longer loose and floppy. The gasket that we put in there takes that up, so that's really great. Let's go over your parts. So there are the parts. Here's your crown gasket and your other 2 gaskets, of course. I also put in the movement retaining ring spring, and I don't know if you noticed before, but when you were setting the time or moving the crown around, your dial was moving, and that's a sign that that ring has been removed or is gone. Here's your old crown seal. Watch this. It's as hard as a rock, and as was this is your other set of gaskets. So those will come back. You'll get to see those. And everything else on your 6105 looks great. I would leave it just as it is and enjoy it. If it ever starts to get a little funny in terms of time telling, certainly send it back and we can make it run as well as this one does. So beautiful set, really great pair of watches here. I couldn't imagine a better set of divers to have. So thank you very much for trusting me with them, and I hope you enjoyed this, and wear them and enjoy them. They're great. All right, thanks so much, Tony. Take care. Thanks for watching.